lovely Thursday evening with time reading some 5 minutes after 7. Good evening wherever you are. Within hearing range of my voice, you're most welcome. It's the 19th day of September 2024. I can't believe it. We're just some 3 minutes to hit the end of the year, and we're here on simply your best station, Starr 103.5 FM. It is said that do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, you go on to do it well or do it better. Maya Angelou said this many years ago. Good evening, and you're most welcome to Ghana's #1 personality show. I welcome you to another exciting episode of your award-winning radio personality show, StarrChat, and my name is Bola Ray. Well, this evening, we have the privilege of diving deep into a legal mind of distinction. Trust me when I say this. He's a leader, a reformer. I know him as a champion for justice. Born and raised in Kumasi, he developed a keen interest in law from an early age, a product of a distinguished family that values education and integrity. The son of Mr. Samson Kweku Boafo, a known lawyer himself, former member of parliament for Subin in the Ashanti region, as well as minister for Ashanti region, moved on to become minister for chieftaincy under president in 1994. Subsequently, he enrolled on the roll of lawyers in Ghana in 1995. Wow, a long time ago indeed. He has practiced law for over 25 years. Well, close to 3 decades of carving a niche for himself in both litigation and corporate law. Known for his meticulous attention to detail, when I scheduled this interview and I put up the poster, many talked about his legal expertise, spanning various areas, including constitutional law, commercial law, and human rights. Throughout his career, he has represented high-profile clients and handled complex cases that have contributed to shaping Ghana's legal landscape. Many messages, I can just recall about 101 messages all across, from people in Kumasi, in the UK, and all of that. He's a celebrated lawyer indeed, a legal luminary. And Kumasi is his base. Tonight, we get to know him the more. A Kumasi-based legal practitioner from the SK Boafo Partners and Associates, or call it the Jinyami Chambers. Wealth of experience as the National Secretary of the Association, Vice President, Secretary, Social Secretary of the Ashanti Regional Bar at various periods. He moved on to become the National Secretary, played a key role in the establishment of a customized ICT platform that has enhanced access to continuing legal education seminars for lawyers, simplified payment of members' dues, reduced the processing time for renewal of the licenses for lawyers, and bar registration certificates. Well, that's a colossus there. Tonight, we'll get to meet him up close and personal. On the 15th day of September 2021, during the GBA's annual conference in Bolgatanga, he garnered 605 votes, representing a decisive 52.83%, defeating his opponent, Efuagate. Well, his commitment to success and, of course, access to justice has seen him actively supporting pro bono legal services. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating lawyer Yaw Acheampong Boafo, a man dedicated to elevating the bar, literally, and also you can say figuratively, deeply rooted in his values of integrity, hard work, and humility. After many years of conducting many cross-examinations, he's right here to be cross-examined on StarrChat in the hot seats. Welcome, lawyer Yaw Acheampong Boafo. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bola.
How are you?
By His grace, I'm good.
You look calm and collected, taking things easy, Yaw.
Bola.
Yes, sir.
I have to.
You have to.
Yes, I have to.
you don't, well, we'll talk about how you distress and all of that, but the position that you handle and what you've been through, you're just easygoing, fun-loving, calm, collected, and I'll ask you how you're able to do that. But we welcome you.
Thank you very
To
much.
StarrChat. Pleasure to see you in living color. StarrChat is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Haptel is everything you. Bills Quick Microcredits, Deftraco Woodlands, and Starr Assurance. Also, a big thank you to Top Choco, Taste Nutrition Energy. We're live in Kumasi on Ultimate 106.9 FM. And also in Takrady on Empire 102.7 FM. That's Sekendi Takrady. And here in Accra, a Starr 103.5 FM. My name is Bola Ray, and lawyer Yaw Acheampong Boafo is here. Yaw, how are you doing? How's your day been? You had to fly in from Kumasi to Accra today?
Oh no, you know.
Oh, you've been around?
Yeah, you know, for the past 6 years, I've been. Let me say, I live in Kumasi and I work in Accra.
Oh, so you're an Accra boy?
No, I can never be an Accra boy. You see,
you can never be.
You need a constitutional amendment to get me to permanently relocate to Accra.
You love it in Kumasi.
Oh, Kumasi is the Jerusalem of the Republic of Ghana. You know Kumasi. Everybody knows you. Because me, I'm a chef. I'm a daleta. I don't have a pot belly. I don't pig this, but when
I say a daleta.
You know, in Accra there are too many big men here. But
you're a big man.
Oh, but you see, Kumasi. When I get there,
that is your town.
Oh, that's it. Then you know I'm around.
Wow. Then you know that lawyer Yaw Boafo is in charge.
Oh yes.
You're most welcome. How's your day been? Relatively.
Oh, well, it's a normal day. We had a General Legal Council meeting today to approve the results of the professional law course, post-call and professional one, so that people will be called to the bar hopefully on 4th October. I mean, for some years now, we've not been able to get people called traditionally the Friday before the legal year starts. But Professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu has done an excellent work as chairperson of the IEC. So today we have the Supreme Court to have a meeting to approve the results, and I think that most people would have heard their results this evening or tomorrow.
This evening or tomorrow. That was swift and great.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, Professor Mensah-Bonsu done an excellent job. I mean, I think what she did was, since she became the IEC chairperson, I think they had residential marking for 2 weeks, actually camping lawyers and judges for 2 weeks in Koforidua. And
that's
they've done
epic.
An excellent job, put on record. I mean, she's done an excellent job. So
4th of October, you said?
Yeah, 4th of October, there'll be the call day. I mean, traditionally, that's what we do, so that 5th October would have the legal year service, and then 7th Monday, we start all over again.
Wow. Congratulations are in order. I hear you are yet to hand over, though.
Yes.
So you're still the president of the Ghana Bar Association?
Until 4th November. But it's like, when you buy a goat for Christmas and you tie the goat on 24th. So far as the bit 25th, there's a living there. So I'm my lame duck thing. I mean, yes. I mean, I'm still president, but
until you hand over on the 4th
of November.
Right. But, congratulations are in order. I mean, on your tenure as president of the Ghana Bar Association. If you had to describe, Yaw, your tenure in one word, what would it be?
Intriguing.
Intriguing.
I mean, I think that being bar president is very honorable. But there's no way I'll take away from that. When your colleagues repose their trust and confidence in you, is the highest form of confirmation that you can get. But you see, there's something about being bar president, and I want to share this. I think that our constitutions draw inspiration from our traditions, where we have imperial traditional rulers. So from 1960 coming, we've had imperial presidents. Now people are grappling with the power that the Constitution gives to the president. Unfortunately, people think that that's what the bar president is, but the bar president is not like that. The day-to-day running of the bar is vested in the National Executive Committee, and all of them are elected from the same source as you. Then you have your General Council of the bar, that includes the Executive Committee, all past presidents, all regional presidents, all regional secretaries coming together. So Unlike the president of the republic who can say, Bola, I don't like you, I'm a minister for defense, I've sacked you. The president of the bar cannot do that. And you know, at times when you walk into a bar council meeting, like Yaw Boafo is presiding, but you have Samoku Joto present, J. Kajumai present, you have Benson Nukchupui present, Megacho
These
present.
are
For
legal.
life. I mean,
Yes.
I mean that's one thing that I'll be president, I'll be member of the council for life, and 24/7. So you can just imagine what that entails. So what happens is that unless you get the buy-in of your executives, you really cannot get anything going.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So you have this honorable, prestigious position, but it's really controlled, you know. And if we could get that formula for our nation, it was going to work. That it still create a very honorable, prestigious position, but you still need the buy-in of executives to work together. So one thing that it
Will you
teaches-
recommend that maybe our Council of State is elevated to that, you know,
I mean,
realm of a sort?
I
if
don't
we
know how we're
can?
going to work it out because you see the thing is that you cannot have ministers being elected. But in our case, at the case of the bar president, all your ministers are elected. They are given to you. You know, I always share this experience. Most people know that when I was national secretary and my illustrious predecessor, Tony Forson, was president, we had an absolutely brilliant working relationship. But it was so funny. In 2015, Anthony Forson got angry with me and was not talking to me. And then in 2018, when I was...
No, let's get this. The president at the time wasn't talking to his secretary.
No, before...
Really?
No, not before he became
president.
Before president, when he was vice president.
You had issues.
What actually happened is, Tony is listening. I'm going to let the secret out today because I'm leaving. In 2015, Anthony Forson was contesting to become vice president. And I was supporting Mike Lousu. And Tony did not understand. And then we were very close friends at that time, so he got angry with me. He won the election, though. And then in 2018, I decided to contest for secretary. He decided to contest for president. And my preference was Peter Raymond Zuenes. And his preference for secretary was Justin Amenuvo. So you had the situation where I was campaigning for myself and Peter Zuenes, and he was campaigning for himself and Mr. Amenuvo. But the funny thing was that even my campaign manager was supporting Anthony Forson. And he had also very key people on his campaign who were supporting me. What happens? He wins, I win. So one evening, you know, Tony closes very late. I called a colleague lawyer, Kokunsi Asais Koku. Let's go to Tony. So I walked to Tony's office. I said, Tony, you see, the problem is whether you like it or not, the bar, members of the bar, they've elected you as president, me as secretary. We have to work together. And if there's one person that I worked together absolutely brilliantly was Anthony Forson.
Wow.
And that really prepared me to become president as secretary. We worked excellently. So, you know, that's what the bar teaches you, you know, because he needed me, I needed him. You know, and the thing is, that is what the bar president is at times.
Can we bring that into national politics? I mean, the fiber of it.
It would work, you know. But the thing is that people have to be professional. One of the things about election for bar presidents is that you just have to the movement from campaigning to governance is the challenge, because the people who support you, your campaign team. You know, for example, I had my Paco Akwe, Samuel Nates, Peter Dadzi, Chris Osei, but they're not part of your next executive committee. So I have to work with the Xavier Kujes, the Laurentia, the Kes, Professor Tulix, you know. So the thing about is unlike say a general election where the people, you can appoint them into your cabinet. So that transition can be a bit...
So which one will you then recommend? You recommend what we have in our national body politics, or you feel what the bar, you know, association has is better for the nation?
You know, Bola, if I have, you know, I will say this thing with a bit of arrogance, and I don't want to do that because I'm
say it as it is without fear or favor.
I think that, you know, maybe you have to ask. Unfortunately, we've never had a bar president who's become president of the republic before. So, I mean, because I don't know what goes on in running the affairs of the country. So, if I say that let's use the template of the bar, that would be a bit
pushing it.
But yeah, when I don't know what goes on, I mean the considerations may be different. So I don't want to say that what we have at the bar would work for the country. Okay. That would be very pompous because I've never been president before. But maybe the day that we have a bar president who becomes national president, he can tell us that, look, looking at the two, I think that's one thing. But that is the challenge, you know. And then also people getting to realize that, look, we have to work together. You know, that thing about working with people that you may not necessarily he may not be your drinking partner, you're the guy you go chilling with.
That's right.
It's very,
Did
very
you get that support, Yaw?
well,
And be sincere.
Oh, I mean, I think that what I have to be honest. I said in my speech that there was a day that I decided to resign because of treachery. One thing that I realized was that it was a learning curve. There were people who supported me, I mean, to the hilt. There were others who just wouldn't see eye to eye with me. There are people who engage in treachery. But for me, I think that it comes with the hazard of holding a prestigious office. I mean, Bola, our Lord Jesus Christ had Judas. David had Ahithophel. I mean, so the thing is that one thing about holding positions of honor and prestige, that it looks like that's occupational hazard. There are people who will think that the best thing for them to do to you is to undermine you, engage in treachery. But in the main, I had a support. I mean, some people would not see anything good coming from Nazareth as far as I was concerned. But generally, I had the support. Especially one constituency that I had the support from was the past presidents. That was the thing, because the number of times Uncle Sam will call you, Frank Beecham will call you, Nuti Fafa, Paula Dujemfi, they'll call you to talk to you privately. And I like the way they handled me. I think that because they had been presidents before, they respected the office. So they'll call you privately, engage you, explain. At times they'll ask you why you did certain things. And I love that none of them came out publicly to disobey. But I think that one convention that we developed from Mr. Forson's time that we carried over was that what normally happens is that the National Executive Committee will meet on a Wednesday before we go to the council on the Thursday. The council is a higher body. And what normally happens is that the NEC recommends to council. So we develop this convention that, look, at the NEC meeting, let us bang our heads, let us disagree. So when we come to a decision at NEC and we go to council, even if your position was in the minority, please, at the council level, don't disagree with the president in public. And I think that worked for us. So at a point in time, we realized that, look, at the NEC meeting, when we're disagreeing, it was to get to a position which we had to take to council.
Did you at any point say that, well, enough is enough? Look, like you mentioned in your speech, you wanted to resign.
Absolutely.
Many times? You wanted to...
It was that single event. I mean, it was just too much.
What happened on that particular occasion?
You see, maybe because of the individuals involved, I was just not want to mention the details. But there was a time that I felt that I had done something very right for the bar. You know, if you go to 15 Hill Selassie Avenue now, I think we have one of the most modern secretariat, you know. And for me, I thought I was doing something right for the bar. Unfortunately, it got me, I mean, and it was painful because I had done nothing wrong. And I just decided, listen, look, I have become president. It was less than a year. So what we have at the bar secretariat now is that if you go there now, this ugly face has a big picture.
Okay.
But then on 4th November, it will be minimized. We have the standard form and placed next to Anthony Forson, and Mrs. Gatti's beautiful face will be put there. So I was like, oh, no matter what, the records will show that I was president and I'm going to be the next after Anthony Forson. So why go through all these things? So I just decided, look, I was going to do that. I always find this thing. I have this Stephen, attendant the secretariat. Stephen is one of those loyal, annoying characters. You know he's always annoying, but you know very well that he's loyal. Stephen, I always call him reliably unreliable Stephen. So he came in there, he didn't close my door. I was just drafting something and Kwaku Debra Brodu walks in. He saw me, I was crying. I actually said, oh, hey, let me tell you something. If you leave, your enemies are not going to leave you. Though. Just stop this thing and get on with it. And today, I have about 6 weeks or so to leave office, and I thank God for that. But
you have them to say thank you.
Oh, that is why I had to publicly thank them. I know that some of them felt uncomfortable because it was sensitive, but I believe strongly that they deserve. So I did not tell them. You know, there are people like you know, if you look at my thank you list, I think I may be the first bar president to have done that. There were people, I mean, the secretarial staff, for example. I mentioned them one by one, and they were telling me that, so you actually mentioned our names, you know. Wow. I appreciated them. Because one thing that I always tell people that I'll miss is when I drive into the car park, there's this security guy, Roxon. He opened the door for me, and his salutation is, Papa, divine selection, Afaye. You know, I'll walk in there, I'll be teasing them, you know, talking to them. FOJVL Lawson as executive secretary, taking me like a son. I had an excellent relation.
You're a man of the people. I mean, from your narration and all of that, you can tell that you really were with them. You know the security man, you know the secretary. How is that?
Bola, I don't wear my faith on my sleeve, but the Old Testament is something that I really look to sort of guide me. I asked myself, how did Naaman get his healing? It was the wife's maid who drew attention. One thing that I've noticed is that servants have more access to power even than people. So if you look at the Bible, Joseph decided to, out of his own volition, interpret the dream of fellow prisoners. It was one of them, a servant to Pharaoh, who told Pharaoh that there was Joseph. When the evil spirit was tormenting Saul, it was a servant who said there was somebody who knows how to play the harp. So you realize that Nehemiah and all those people were servants. So one of the things that I learned, and I think I learned from my father, I must admit, was that you don't know who is going to be the person to hold your hand.
True.
This idea that if I walk into EIB, Bola Ray is a GM, but the security person may be the person who directs me.
True.
So for me, I think that when I believe in what I call the Jesus Christ principle of power, that authority I give you is not like that of the Gentiles for you to lord over, but to serve. So for me, I'm bad president, but does it make me a better human being than Bola Ray? Absolutely. So that good morning that you say to the servant, and I will tell you something. When I was national secretary, I remember I had decided to contest as president, and I had not discussed it. I discussed with very close friends. One day I walked to the secretariat, and the late Rita Davis, there's a lady there who died unfortunately. She came to me and said, "Sir, in tree, so unja Hong Kong." I'm like, "I didn't say patch unja Hong Kong." And funny enough, this Roxanne I'm talking about, one day she just said, "Papa, me di me to ho aya konchira ma. Me so Diana abunoma me nu siwa. So when we need election ya you wow. So when I heard that, look, those people were praying for me and those things, it tells you that something. I mean, I know that I was going to have 3 years, and I'm looking forward to leaving. But those are people that you miss,
And that is what I want to move on to now. You did not seek re-election.
You can't seek a re-election.
What is it about leadership at the bar?
Amazingly, it's actually not in the Constitution.
Okay.
But it's something, I think it's a convention for 50 years. Oh. So what we used to do was that, look, we have elections. We used to have it every year. Nobody contests you 3 years, then you step down. But we realized that, look, our elections are a bit detailed, so it was costing us money. You have to send papers all around. So in 2021, we amended the Constitution to say, look, so listen, the term is 3 years.
Okay.
But we did not put in that.
You cannot.
Yes, but nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Nobody.
No one wants to seek a second term.
I think you actually you make more enemies. I mean, why would you conceive that idea? Because from Iris Blake, nobody's done it. So
no, but if you are there for the people and they feel that you've done a good work for continuity's sake and everything, they want you to be there. Yes.
You see, the Bible says the time for everything is the season for every activity under the heavens. If you don't know the time to exit, you can get yourself in trouble. You see, that's one extra term. So you see, from the beginning, I think that Mrs. Gattin knows that in 2027 she's going to hand over to somebody. I knew I was going to hand over in 2024. Mr. Forson, he was going to have in 2021. You have 3 years. So what can you do in the 3 years? It's something. Then I think that there's something spiritual about the bad president. You switch off.
Oh, really?
In 2021, Mr. Forson was teasing me when I was stressed, and I was standing I saw Mr. Jack Pasu and Mrs. Gattin, I was laughing because I saw how they were stressed and I was so relaxed. I was leaving. So you see, the thing is, you know, and there's something.
Is it stressful, Yaw Boafo, being the bar president?
It is sweetly stressful. It's sweetly stressful. You see, the thing about being a bar president is very prestigious and honorable, but it's stressful. It's demanding. It's not a paid job. And the sacrifices that you made and everything. And dealing with lawyers. Lawyers are people.
Are they very difficult people to manage?
No, I would not say difficult, but every lawyer has an opinion. Every lawyer has an opinion. I think it's an entitlement that all of us have. My last day at the conference, the junior lawyers were tormenting me, and I was like, God is punishing me. Because I remember when I was junior lawyer, I used to give Sabokuje to and others trouble. So when the young boys were giving it to me, I was like, oh, this is a thing. I mean, one of the things about being a lawyer is that I think the day you become a lawyer, your grandmother thinks that now you can become a busia penny. So all of us grew up in a entitlement that we have an opinion. And at times, lawyers don't seem to have humility or how you go. So when you are presiding over a conference of 2,500 lawyers, it means you have 2,500 views. But that's how lawyers are. We were like that, the same. So it's an occupational hazard. You cannot be bar president and not have opinionated individuals.
Indeed, you would have been surprised if you didn't get people,
It's a given. I mean, it's like, jumping into water. You're going to get wet.
Yeah.
You just know it. I mean, when you become bar president, you know very well that you're going to have.
So you were built for it. You psyched your mind for it.
It's part of the job.
It's part of the job. Under your tenure, there have been some talks, that the bar is politically divided. I mean, you've heard it. NDC lawyers, MPP lawyers. How do you respond to this?
Bola,
Yes,
let me tell you something straight. It is not true.
It is not.
That the GBA is an appendage of any political party. But I'll explain something that people do. It is because of our peculiar constitutional history. You see, during the PNDC era, we had a military government, public tribunals. The existence of the state itself created a problem for people who believed in the rule of law and democracy. So naturally, there was agitation. But the PNDC metamorphosed into a political party. So it's like takeover. You take over the liabilities and the assets. So when people say that the bar is anti-NDC, no. It's because the PNDC metamorphosed the NDC. People have taken on that baggage. But the question I've asked them, this might be the fourth or so time I've posed. I want anybody to draw my attention to a similar fact incident where President Akufo-Addo did something like maybe they put this paper here, that the bar kept quiet. But President Mahama, President Mills did that, and the bar spoke. No, we would not do that. Look, you see, the GBA cannot and would never be.
Are you sure that never happened?
No, you see,
because I just received the message, and the person says, "Look, I love my president, but I think that I want to criticize him for something that he did. That under his leadership, he shied away from critical issues like the ambulance trial. Many lawyers criticized the Attorney General after listening to the Jakpa tape, but the bar was silent."
You see,
is that true?
Bola,
and fair?
Bola, let me tell you something. It's absolutely wrong. I'll tell you something. Bola, you see. You know that proverb, look, I said when we remodeled the bar secretariat, I made a personal project of getting the photograph of every bar president. We don't have Archie Kisley here, folks. When you look around from R.S. Blade to Anthony Forson, that's a line. You see, the thing is that the bar has a different voice from everybody else. And that voice must be used sparingly. Listen, when the Jakpa thing came, a very experienced counsel, one of the best we have in the country, filed an application before the court for a mistrial based on the revelations on the tape. How does the GBA issue a statement in relation to pending proceedings? Look, the others can do it. Can you imagine what was going to happen? So you see, at times, the burden of leadership is not what people have. And one thing that I've noticed is that, look, Bola, let's admit it, the public space now is very heated. So people are looking for validation from the GBA. Like, when we're kids and we're arguing, let's go to daddy. And everybody wants daddy's final opinion. So basically what people do is that when they do that, they're looking for the GBA's validation. And they're not getting it.
And you are not ready to give them that because you thought...
Absolutely. Because the point is that the matter is pending before court. How does the GBA issue a statement in relation to a matter pending before? We can't do that. Look, the others were there. Others were
We're
there.
speaking to it, but no, yeah.
But the point is that I'm not trying to be a bit arrogant here, but the point is that GBA is a different professional body from almost all the civil society organizations. Sorry about that. We have a tradition that we have. So I cannot afford that gaffe. I'll tell you something. You remember some time ago, there was this, at the beginning of the Boko conflict, there was this thing that soldiers had killed some people in Boko. And there was this back and forth. Later it turned out it wasn't true. So I was telling Sylvia, you see, if we had spoken, the GBA cannot afford a gaffe. We don't have a margin of error. So it's not like we've kept quiet. The burden of us is different. Can you imagine?
So Mr. President, then still on that, if we are sending this message saying that the military viciously brutalized residents of Acheampong following the killing of a soldier, the bar was silent. How about that?
Bola, let me tell you something. You see, I said in my speech that because of my lived experience, when I became bar president, initially it was difficult, but I told my NEC members that, look, we have been doing these things of confrontation over the years. Let's have dialogue. So the first thing, one of the first persons, people that we paid a courtesy call on was the former Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama. Good. And we told him that, look, now we are going to engage. So when the Acheampong thing came, one thing that I know about lawyers is that our word, a lawyer can give an article in court, just a word. So we had given our word to the Chief of Defense Staff. So what did we do? We decided to go and see him. Bola, I can't say certain things in public. Not that we shied away from our responsibility, but I believe strongly that any time that you're a lawyer, your basic instinct is to resolve problems. The issue is, has anybody got drowned in hot water quench test before? You know, when you keep on pouring inflammable liquids into fire, you don't achieve anything.
So you can say and put on record that yes, you met with the CDS,
Absolutely.
the former CDS,
Absolutely.
and you resolved issues. You didn't want to make it public.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I mean, Occupy
okay.
Jolobi, we went to see the IGP.
You did?
See, look, Bola, let me draw your attention to something. At times, there are unintended consequences of very good actions. If you look at the history of the bar, when General Yaw Acheampong was bringing his Unigov thing, everybody opposed it. The GB was very, very, very active in opposing it. That, look, let's have multi-party democracy. It was a genuine thing. But because of the tension that rose, we had a military intervention. What else happened? So at times, if we don't take care, the unintended consequence of our good intention may create conditions for somebody to take advantage of, and all of us then becomes victims. So my position is that, look, lawyers must resolve matters through dialogue. We do alternative dispute resolution.
ADR,
but,
yeah.
Bola, if there's one thing that solidifies my position, it's the Dagbon crisis. Look at the history of that crisis. We've had commission upon commission, court matters, matters nobody felt could be resolved. When President Kufuor set up the 3 eminent chiefs, people teased him. I mean, it was ridiculed. But over the years, Yana Mahmoud Abdullah was recognized as Yana, buried. Yana Andani, buried. And the Andanis having another chance. Now there's peace in Dagbon because 3 eminent chiefs over a decade engaged in dialogue. So for me, you know, I am somebody who takes examples very serious. When Otumfuo was celebrating his 10th anniversary, there was a day, one of the events was the 10th anniversary of the death of Otumfuo Pokuare. And Reverend Professor Emmanuel Santi preached a sermon, and he said, listen, contrary to what people believe, Otumfuo Pokuare was a brave man because bravery is used to resolve disputes, not to start a fight. And that thing really held my heart that, listen, when I have a position of influence or power, my job is to bring people together, calm tensions down. Bola, what is the essence of screaming and shouting
all over the place?
And you see, what I tell people is, you don't read the book of Lamentations in the time of Hebrews. Let's look at how things have changed. Look at
this is deep, yeah.
Yes, look at the Chief Justice. By operation of Constitution, I have to see her. She has to see me twice in a month. The General Legal Counsel, Judicial Counsel. I sit just a few meters away from her. So if there's a matter affecting administration of justice, I can raise it with her. How do I stand in public to condemn her? Okay. President Akufo-Addo, and I put on record, twice a year, gives us audience. And Bola, you see, those meetings are held behind closed doors. It's frank and brutal. We tell him what we feel like telling him.
Really?
Absolutely. I said twice.
No holds, but you go all out.
Absolutely. But the thing is that when the president gives you access and you air your grievances, it's so disrespectful and shows that you don't have values for you to come in public and condemn him. when there was this domestic debt exchange thing coming and the consultation, the president gave us access. One Friday, we spent about 3 hours with him. We gave him our views on what we felt should be done. Now, when you do that, your job is to make sure that there is change. I believe in talking. So, Bola, and I've had better experiences when I deviated away from that. A very nonchalant thing that I did really was one of the worst, my low points as bar president.
Which is?
There was a day that we saw a newspaper publication that notary publics must re-register. And we felt that was so wrong. And I think that at the next meeting, I was busy doing something. So they said, let's write. You know, I didn't pay attention to it. And CJ Nia was annoyed with me. Because this is somebody I could just walk into his office. So I was like, yeah, I had to apologize profusely. And
so that got into you.
Because
some
he had given
serious
us open access. And he was like, just pick up a call and
phone and call. Talk to me.
Honestly, I mean, when somebody made a recommendation, I think I was busy getting out to another meeting. And the Benjamin judge, I just said, okay, let's do it. And so when the letter got there, he was very annoyed with that to apologize to ask past presidents to apologize on my behalf. Because I had wronged him, and I felt so bad for somebody who has treated me like a younger brother. I mean, CJ Niyabo, I could just go there. I want to see him on matters he had given access. So it's like, why did you come and see me? And it turned out that it was actually a wrong. The description, the intendment of what they were doing was how it. It was one of my lowest points as
a bar president.
Mm. So you see, I believe in dialogue.
Right.
I don't believe in fighting. I don't believe in insults.
Yes, granted. Let's talk about Galamsey now. You gave blistering remarks, and many salute you for that about Galamsey in Kumasi last week. You got that national attention. But why did you have to wait, many are saying on social media, until the dying embers of your tenure? Yeah.
But
yes.
You see, at times, I don't know your people, your job, what to say about you. My most emphatic condemnation of Bola Ray was in who. But unfortunately for me, and maybe fortunately for me, unfortunately for me, of the 3 conference speeches I've delivered, this is the only one I've been the center of attraction. You remember when we went to WHO, was when the Attorney General came to give a speech that President Mahama was wrong in going to court. And that covered my speech, so nobody listened to me. In Cape Coast, I get a standing ovation. I said everything. And then the president used that phrase, perennial flag bearer, and that was everything. So I don't know, maybe the witches of Acheampong decided to leave me. No. So in my last...
Maybe your PR team should have also pushed this.
See, let me tell you something. In Cape Coast, it hurt us so much that the council took a decision that I should hold a press conference at the College of Physicians and Surgeons to highlight nobody bothered listening to me.
Wow.
So I think that finally my hometown witches decided that it is my last year. let us leave.
And in your home region.
My home region. So this is the first time in my 3-year tenure that my speech became the center of attraction. If you listen to my whole speech, my Cape Coast speech,
you talking about Galamsey.
I mean, I was the first person to call that we should stop arresting these hide hands there and coin the phrase, the evil axis, because our argument was that, look, an excavator costs around $500,000. Those people that you go arresting on the Galamsey side, they are just by day people being paid 100 cedis or something like that. So, Bola, I did that, but the AG's speech had more prominence than mine. So it's not that this is what I had said. It's rather that this is the first time that you go to a conference and the president of the association speech is a center of attraction.
Interesting. We'll get into the archives and we'll dig for it. I know Jojo Kobna, our general manager for news, will get it. That you spoke about it in Ho and also in Cape Coast.
Absolutely.
And then in Kumasi. Anyway, but what really is Ghana's biggest problem from where you sit, Yaw Boafo?
Partisan politics.
Partisan politics.
Tell
us more.
Look, Bola, I was cracking a joke with a very distinguished Ghanaian statesman that we've reached a stage where the churches must start designating maybe Wesley Methodist MPP, Calvary Methodist NDC.
Really?
I think that our greatest problem is partisan politics. So because of that, we don't get anything done. A classic example is this irresponsible comment by Anodompre. You polluted the waters more than
you condemn that in no uncertainty.
No, because you see, the issue is when Ghana Water said that our water supply is affected by galamsey, NDC homes, MPP homes affected. I think that we have not been able to understand what democracy means for us. So our greatest problem is partisan politics because it leads to equalization, defense of the indefensible, and it also realizes that, look, like the Akan proverb, I know very well if I do this thing. Bola, trust me, I think that if a politician slaps you today, depending on which party he belongs to, those who condemn, look at this circus that we are having with our election. Now the MPP is the PR for the EC. And you have sound bites of things that they complain that they do. And the NDC also, you have sound bites of the NDC. So basically...
How do we resolve this, Yaw Boafo? I mean, from where you sit and, as a professional and a consumer professional at that, if you know that this is hurting us, how do we deal with it?
I mean, I don't know, but I think that we've reached that point that we should be able to know what is politics and what is national development. When you hear things like Asamoah missed the penalty because
NDC was in power.
Then we've reached a very low level that a football match. And I must admit, when Suarez made all of us cry, I can tell you, I was in Kumasi and some boys said, "Oh, I was like, this is how." So our problem is partisan politics. So because of that, we cannot have a national consensus, and it also means that we don't listen to certain people because we think that they are coming from this.
And that is dangerous.
Absolutely dangerous. So if Bola Ray is speaking, because he's NDC, we will not listen to because we are MPP. So our general...
Or because he's MPP, you will not listen to him.
Yes. So our greatest problem now is partisan politics. And unfortunately for us, we have not delimited the parameters. Bola, I've never understood why we appoint politically exposed persons as Director General of GES, NPA.
You think that is wrong?
Absolutely. Because you see, my point is that, look, you have your ministers of state.
Correct.
But you don't want to go to GMPC.
For state agencies, you believe that we should
decouple... people charged with oil exploration.
Yes.
And then it's being political exposed person. Your national health insurance, Maslock, those institutions. At times, it's not gotten bad that at times you hear that even in the police or military, we have people we perceive to the chief directors are here now. There's suspicion that this one is this, this one is this. And for me, it bothers me, that why we have politicized what I call the traditional public services is my problem. I believe that, look, let's keep the politically exposed individuals in ministers of state, in political... But you don't go to STC...
For state agencies, you believe
GM, Petroleum Commission,
You think that is totally wrong. I can see the passion with which you are actually addressing this, and you are worried about
absolutely wrong. Because, you see, my idea is that even our politicians are messing up. If we have a technocratic body, they can stand up to the plate. Because, look, the Petroleum Commission can get your... things done
show
for
up
you.
Your revenue.
Your NPA can get your downstream, this thing done for you. You can have your public services moving, your Maslock, your NHIA can get people access to justice, even if politicians are not getting it right. But where the CEO of NHIA himself is a political person.
But if he's qualified or she's qualified to head that, then issue of...
The Apostle Paul says all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. Because you see, in a highly partisan environment, if you work at the NHIA and you have a director general coming from a political party who is seeking to be an MP for the next time fighting as primaries, you know that there's chaos. Because if you look at the current parliamentary primaries, there are too many people from TVET, Minerals Commission or something who have won primaries. And most of the political parties will tell you that for you to qualify to be a candidate, you must have nurtured the party for a certain number of years. So basically what tells you that all those times, that's what they were doing.
You feel that is dangerous for our body politics, right?
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Absolutely. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll get to know more about you personally. We'll talk about the heavy stuff later. We'll just break it down. But a big thank you to MTN, our proud sponsor, and also going out to, MTN, thank you very much to Top Choco. We're saying a big thank you as well to Bales Microcredit. Well, They are 15 years this year, and Quick Credit has been your trusted partner in micro lending, empowering lives and making dreams a reality. So today, we're excited to announce a new age. Quick Credit is now Bill's Microcredit, still committed to serving Ghanaians and changing lives. Bill's financing your needs. And MTN has some great news for everyone. Well, for those of you who love MTN Free After One, prepare for the upgraded experience. That is MTN Free After One Extra. Now, let me tell you about what the extra is all about. With MTN Free After One Extra, you can talk for 1 whole hour, uninterrupted, while paying for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk. So that's some great news from MTN. Well, you like to hear something great. It's not enough. You also get 70 MB of data for free after your first call. So that's MTN Free After One Extra today. It's simple. Dial *550#. That's *550#, and then you follow the prompt. We'll be right back after this break.
It's Bola Ray. Starr 103.5 FM, celebrating 10 years of resilience, impact, and excellence in broadcasting.
Hey, is that Kuku? Hey, you've grown into a big boy, oh.
Ifipa. Even Momo is 15 years old.
It still feels like yesterday when we were fumbling with cash and worrying about the way money moves.
Say it again. Now I send money to my AC in the village, pay bills, save money, loan so kakra, investment kakra, at the Momo
Shit. How do you think I get the small coins from my bugger bag?
To celebrate 15 years of Momo, you too can win awesome prizes in the Momo at 15 Rewards promo. Just download the new My Momo app, continue to transfer and make payments, and you could be one of the 15 lucky winners of 15,000 Ghana cedis and 150 lucky winners of 1,500 Ghana cedis each. So, Ghana, keep celebrating Momo at 15. Offer runs from now till November. T's and C's apply. MTN.
Charlie, Chairman is still not here. What at all could be the issue? Calm down. I'm sure you'll be here soon. Oh, guys. Sorry I'm late. Koti bab me for road. Sake of my insurance expire. Some long issue, Charlie.
Acheampong, hey, you make Koti bab you sake of you forget to renew your car insurance when you can get your car insurance sticker instantly on Hubtel. And best of all, you can set a reminder to renew. Simple matter. Just install the app, enter your car number, and oh la la, your instant insurance sticker is there.
Oh, really? Make I do am now before I forget. But Edemu, Charlie, see. Edemu, insurance sticker need demo one time. I can even renew it every month. Wow. Charlie, as for this one, today, as usual, the sitting is on me.
Visit hubtel.com/app to download your Hubtel app and set a reminder to renew your car insurance today. Hubtel is everything you.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Call 0302-200-390 or 0596-928-33 today and live a bill-free life. Bills Microcredit is licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
The luckiest.
Starr 712 #.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed *712# and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Dial
dial *712#. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial *712#. Now I can to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with *712#. Now join in the winning streak now.
The luckiest
*712#.
luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest.
For too long, Ghanaians have been let down by empty promises and failed leadership. But now, a new dawn is rising in our beloved country, a sweeping change led by the visionary Nana Kwame Bediako, the leader of a new force movement. Nana Kwame Bediako will embark on an unprecedented tour of all 276 constituencies across Ghana. He's bringing hope, economic freedom, and to put power back where it belongs, with you, the people. Be part of this historic revolution that will shape the destiny of our nation. Join the New Force movement now, and let's build a nation of our dreams. For more information, call 0531 100081. That's 0531 100081. New Force movement. Enidaswaba.
Imagine protecting your car and changing lives at the same time. With Starr Assurance's Starr Motor Third Party Extra, you can. This enhanced policy covers the glass components of your vehicle and supports Hope for Little Lives, an NGO dedicated to helping underprivileged children. Switch or upgrade now by paying as little as 105 Ghana cedis in addition to your motor third-party premium to enjoy this cover. Make a difference with every policy you purchase. Call toll-free on 0800-177-177 to sign up. T's and C's apply. Starr Assurance, your solid partner.
103.5 Starr FM. It's Bola Ray.
Right, so welcome back. Our here with the GBA president, the president of the Ghana Bar Association, Yaw Acheampong Boafo. Yaw, welcome back. Right, so we'll get to meet you up close now. And like I said, we'll talk about the heavy stuff later. But tell us about the kind of home that you had to grow up in.
Well, Bola, let me say this thing. I was born out of wedlock, so I lived with my mother's. The story, as I was told, was that actually my mother was a nursing sister in the UK when my father got her pregnant, and then she came to Ghana to give birth to me. So she started working at the Mahinkru Hospital, and I hear my late uncle. When I started talking, I was speaking Bunu, and he was not particularly pleased that. You know, in those days, I was born 1970s.
Okay.
So I was brought to Kumasi to come and live with my mom's elder sister. So I lived with her before when I was 9 years. I went to live with my father. So that's.
So before that time, you had not met Daddy.
No. I used to go and spend weekends there, like.
There, okay.
My father.
But what about your mom?
My mom, actually, my mom is somebody who pampers me to bits, and I thank God I've never lived with her. But let me say this: my mom actually delivered you. She told me this thing. Yes, my mother worked from 1972 to 96 at AGC Hospital. You said your father was an inspector of mines.
Correct.
Yeah. So my mom was the head of the.
Thanks to your mom.
So if you ask your father, ask Miss Kumsen, she was the nursing sister in charge of the maternity ward.
Wow.
She actually
Small world.
Yeah. So because of that, I used to go to Obuasi for holidays, and I thank God I never lived with my mom, because my mom, the only son of an Asante woman, I'll be pampered silly. But my mom was there for me all the time, and I lived with my father. So the two of them
from age 9.
Yeah, 9 till that time, and that is how I've lived my.
Was it law from the beginning?
Actually, there's this funny thing. My late stepfather was a doctor. And my late stepfather used to do to me, but he died when I was 7. And I used to go to my mother. You know AGC Hospital. You know that place. Those Boafo was
That's
like.
right.
Was
no,
like
that was the place. The golf course. The hospital was
paradise.
good. Yeah, paradise.
When I would go and see Dr. Someone, Dr. those people with stethoscopes, I said I wanted to be a doctor. But Jesus Christ, I mean, I know how I was born. My science was so terrible that I jettisoned the whole idea. So for me, in spite of the fact that my father is a very renowned lawyer, I decided that the evidence was clear that I was not going to end up doing anything in the sciences. So I end up...
Law it was.
Law it was. I actually wanted to do law, become a historian.
Okay, I was going to ask you, if not law, what would it have been?
I think I wanted to be a historian, a professor of history or something that I learned to that.
Wow. And then secondary school was where?
The greatest of all, Acheampong College.
Acheampong?
Yes.
Wow.
I spent 7 years at Acheampong College. And
1 to upper 6?
Yes. And then
Acheampong College?
Yes. Then I joined my father.
Let's stay at Acheampong College. What kind of student were you?
I was actually
any nickname back then?
Oh, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say that.
Somebody will text that one to me. So you better say it.
Yeah. That one.
Why? What about the nickname?
I was actually, when I was at Acheampong College, I was this very naughty character.
Oh, you're a naughty character?
Naughty in the sense, I wasn't a bad, but I was naughty. I used to, I was the youngest in my class.
Okay.
So they decided to bully me. And then I also decided to retaliate by, maybe playing jokes and tricks on them. But what I did was that I had some classmates there who would protect me. And then who would protect me. So what I did was that I knew my limits. The big guys were always, and most of the big guys were academically not there, so I was helping them out. So I always knew very well that I had some protection rackets there, but I was a very naughty boy.
Very naughty boy.
Yeah.
When you say naughty, break it down for us.
Oh, mine was more of teasing. I was tiny at that time. I was just teasing, running rings around people.
Okay.
And I could just tease. Mine was more of, those playing pranks.
Right,
I was a master prank.
And the nickname was?
I wouldn't tell you.
No, we'll grant you that. But you had a girlfriend at what age when you were in Pepe? Yes, yeah. Somebody just sent a message, so you better say it.
No. You see, those days, Pepe College men.
Yeah.
When it comes to raps, we're absolutely terrible at that. So, but the good thing was that we had a veritable supply of Bantama girls,
so you weren't doing your girls' Pepe College is what?
Yes,
Antoine.
But in our time, it was in Boniquez,
your time, okay.
Yes, but those were for the boys who had more shirts to wear to go there. But I was, one thing is that for me, I've never known how to dance.
Okay.
And I think that when I was in school, I didn't know. I started wearing glasses when I left school. I didn't have I was myopic. So anytime there was a video show, when I walked into assembly hall, I couldn't see far. So, and I'm not particularly, I don't do clubs. I'm not a music person.
You don't love music.
I'm not a movie person. So I was really not into the fanfare thing.
The entertainment thing wasn't part of you. So you weren't going for the jams or fanfares.
The naughty things that I used to do at school, and I would say that there was this Premier College tutor, Mr. Sesibi, who saved me from being dismissed. Mine was football.
Okay.
And I was so naughty at that, in the sense that I was the only person, I think if you know Justin Ado, JV Sports, he organized the thing.
Okay.
We used to run away to go and watch football, Kotoko was like.
At that age?
Yes. Bola.
You break bounds to go and watch?
Yes. And there was a day that Mr. Sesibe caught me, and he just had mercy on me because I was one of his best government students, and he didn't report me. That's why I didn't. That's all my 7 years, I was never suspended, not even internal suspension. I always used to know how to go the limits, but mine was running away to go and watch football. That was the thing that I used to do at school. That was not, and I was always. It was basically football. I mean, Kotoko was...
You love football. Kotoko is your thing.
Kotoko, I mean, what else? Kotoko, it was fabulous. I mean, where I grew up, it was fabulous.
And you got onto the board as well at a point. But we'll talk about it. But after Prempeh College, then what? University of Ghana?
No. I went to University of London.
University of London.
So
okay.
I went to University of London, went to University College London, University of West of England. That's why I was called to the bar.
All right.
And then I quickly, I never... In all those years...
So university wasn't here in Ghana?
Yes. So and I immediately I finished, I was called to the bar on 28 July 94. at Inner Temple. September, I was in Ghana.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Wow.
September, I was in Ghana. I mean, I just came. I was not even contemplating
to stay in. Okay.
That's the point. So I just came and then started working in my dad's firm. Yes, he left for politics, and then I took over the firm, and now we're about Accra and Kumasi, about 30-something of us. So
30-something.
That's about 38 of us.
Wow.
Accra and Kumasi of us. Yeah.
So for many, they'll tell you that taking up leadership, family businesses, really there's a thing to it. After the person who sets it up, the founder, people just cannot take it to the next generation, and it's a bit tough for the children to carry it on. How were you able to do it, to carry that legacy and say, look, Dad, I'm going to run this?
Bola, one thing about my father is that surprisingly, he's never beaten any of his children before, but he was tough. But one thing that I remember when I was in school was that during vacations, I would go. So I'm the only person in that firm who started as a cleaner and became head of chambers.
You started as a cleaner?
Yeah.
Your father's?
Yeah, because those days I would go there and I'll go and go to the office and clean. So I knew how to file processes. They were sending me to jail. So I was about 15 or 16 and all the people were sending me and they came. But one thing that I learned was that my father never indulged us. I mean, I'm not saying that I was somebody, at a point in time when he went on exile, things were difficult. But my mother stepped, Boase.
That's right.
So for me, I would not really have that sob story. But one thing that my father did was my father never indulged us. And there's no way you're going to have any of the things that, your fees will be paid. Granted, those things. I even had AGC scholarship. So my mother, because my mother told my father could pay. My mother told my father that, Obuasi, they were giving them scholarship, that's a thing. And then things was that, but there was, you don't wake up in the morning and you get away with it. My father will not take it. So we were brought up that way.
You were disciplined. You had to fall in line.
Absolutely. I mean,
you wouldn't say that your father is one of the top lawyers in Ghana and all of that, a top politician. So
I'll tell you something. Up to this day, as bar president now, when my old man is there, there are limits. Even up to this day. There are limits.
Wow.
There are certain things up to this that I can't do with my father. It's a given. And I'll tell you that it really helped me when I was a young lawyer. When you start earning your own money, you can do everything. My father still wasn't allowing me to misbehave. He was there. And when he was going to politics, he entrusted in the care of the late Dr. A.B. Kanani. So my father always made sure that myself, David, my brother, all of us were things. So at times when people see that the family, it's so simple. They've had things easy, no way, not an SK Boafo shout.
So it wasn't a golden spoon, it wasn't a silver spoon.
You see,
it was a wooden ladle.
I had this friend, Pepe Kolo, used to call me Ejaba Bourgeois, for the simple reason that I was only that I'd be on paper. My father,
Chaliba on ground.
My dad made sure that he was able to draw the line. Extreme, no. But also both sides. Right. And as I said, up to this day, my father has not touched any of us. But even today, even today, as bar president, when the old man is around, those who know my relationship with my father will know that there are limits.
Wow. There are indeed limits. Are you married?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been married for how many years?
Well, I'm my second World War. Actually, I'm divorced and remarried.
Oh, you divorced and you were married for how many years and then
let me see, I was married for 12 or 13 years and I've been married and
it didn't work out.
Well, I can say it didn't work out for me. So in my second World War, I think I've been married for 7 years now.
Okay.
I was a divorcee for 6 years and I married early actually. So
you married at age what?
25.
25?
Yes. So at 20 I had 3 children.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And you have how many now?
7.
7 children?
Yes.
Yeah, and still counting?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, Bola.
You want to? Yes,
I'll tell you something. Everybody must have a pension baby.
At 54?
Yes.
You want to have more children?
Everybody must have a pension baby.
Everybody must have a pension baby.
Absolutely.
How so?
You see, my children, there's something called New Testament and the Old Testament. Because you see, as I said, my oldest son is 30, I have a 26, I have a 25-year-old. So, and then I have a 10, then the little ones follow in that order. You see, now when I go home...
So at 60, you want to have 4?
Bola, when I go home now and I see crayon graffiti on my wall, it's therapeutic. You know, but when I was young, when I was a young father,
really,
absolutely, pension baby, you must have it. Well, it's one thing I recommend to pension baby. Everybody must have them.
Pension baby,
absolutely.
I think I have to revise my notes. I think I'm trying to. Yeah,
Bola, you must have it.
It's one of the sweetest.
Oh, pension baby, because you see. Do you know? Have you realized?
You don't get irritated when you see crayon drawings.
But haven't you realized that when kids are toddlers, we are so excited, but when they reach that age, when they go to university, you start thinking, are they going to be alcoholics? You know, it's so scary. You know, so you know when you have adult children. When my children were at university, you know, at times you are panicking because you hear stories.
That's right.
Then you hear stories about this, you hear stories about that. But you know, when you see all those little people sleeping on the floor and walking around, and then the funny thing is, my adult children think that I've become a softie now because they are complaining that I'm pampering it, and it also gives them experience to become fathers because now they are taking care of their. So I don't interfere.
Any of them taking after you want to read law? Or
Yes, my second son will be called to the bar this October. Yes, so I have a pharmacist, a quantity surveyor, and he will become a lawyer. So that thing.
Superman,
yes.
Man.
So in my young days,
yes.
you see, you have to enjoy the both. You know, as a young father, you know, it makes you matured early because when
25. So you recommend and also say and direct a lot of the young men out there. 25, 20. If you can go out there and marry.
Bola, I would recommend that have children early.
Okay.
And then have children later in life. It's
bad precedent.
It's very, very
early and later in life.
You see, look,
how do you draw the balance?
Even the Word of God has an Old Testament and a New Testament. So it's very important that, you see, most people, I think that we become so Western. We become so Western. So we think that everything from the Western world is a thing. Isn't it surprising that when our fathers used to have 36 or they lived for longer periods, you know, there's something therapeutic about kids.
Okay.
Don't you realize that when you go home and your kids are growing up, then when they are pinching you and they are thinking, it's so therapeutic. But actually, when they get to that stage where you need that constant fix, you know.
I think I'll follow your advice.
No,
Maybe two more.
Yes, Bola.
Won't hurt.
I would advise everybody that, look, if you can afford it,
okay,
below 30,
right,
have children, and then late 40s, 50s, have something. You'll be surprised.
How do you balance your professional responsibility? Because you are busy. You have 7 children. How do you balance that with other interests and passions? You play golf?
I started playing golf about 6 months ago. It's actually wonderful.
You love it.
I've not gotten my handicap yet, but I play hockey, squash, and golf.
Wow.
So what I've done is that I'm not the sort of person who can wake up in the morning and say I'm going to the gym or walk. So I play hockey, then I play squash, and the 4 Garrison Squash Club. Bola, if you come to Kumasi anytime, I invite. That place is. I mean, everybody is so happy there.
Wow.
So I play squash,
and you still have time to run the association, run your firm,
naturally
be there for the family. How do you balance? There are many young fathers listening to you. How do we balance?
Bola, one of the things that I have found about parenting is that I don't know if it works for everybody else. I don't believe in micromanaging. But what I also do is I believe that I don't have discretions for kids. I believe strongly that no matter how kids are, they must grow. I don't believe that my child is my friend, but he should be able to communicate with me. I don't believe that because they can play with gadgets, they are matured. A 7-year-old who has the dexterity with a computer is still a 7-year-old. So what I do is that I set parameters for them. One thing about my children, I think when my older children were young, I used to tell them, like, when they start something, I said, listen, in this house, except God, I've said it, and that's the thing. So immediately start something, daddy's hand is going down, they know the matter ends there. Don't come and argue. So it became clear that this is what daddy likes, this is what daddy doesn't like. And don't even come and ask for an appeal or something.
Are you a hands-on dad? Are you there to support them?
No, because as you rightly said, when you're very, very busy. But I mean, the thing is, I believe in family.
Okay.
I mean, I must put on record that my mother-in-law has done an excellent job with the toddlers because I've been away from so the kids are with her. I believe in family. I'm very, very, very traditional, Bola. I believe in our tradition. I'm not westernized, even though I spend a lot of things. I believe that we denigrate our culture for nothing. Because, Bola, why would you take your child to a creche? if your mother-in-law or your mother is at home, because the commitment to the children. So at times, when I hear these things
Do you think that people are just overplaying it and they feel that, everybody's doing it, it's become something?
I think that I'll blame the church for this.
The church?
Yeah, you see, I think that the emphasis on marriage at times is a bit too much. And the two shall become one, I think is taken to bizarre levels. I believe that marriage is a union of two families. Bola, if your mother-in-law dies, your parents will join you to go and visit. So also if your parent dies. How come that when the children have to have access to their grandparents and everything, suddenly becomes all these bizarre things? I don't believe that you can take somebody out of a family because you go and pay some small drink somewhere, somebody gives a daughter, it means you've cut the person off. I think it's some demonic message that is being preached, separating families. I believe strongly
this is interesting. I mean, the perspective that you have put. Really?
Absolutely, because you see, I don't look, Bola, do you cease to be your father's son because you're married?
No.
I don't believe, at times when I sit on radio and I hear people preaching this thing about your mother should stay away, your father. Look, Bola, if even in our adult life today, I think our parents will pray for us. Absolutely. And for me, let us be fair. In a country like Ghana, where we don't have a state-sponsored welfare system, it's our parents who pay for us to become with us. So somebody takes care of their daughter to reach a certain level, and you go and take that, and you think that because of that ceremony there, suddenly you've cut those people out. Somebody is taking care of the son. So I have a different view, and these are very strong views about it, that I don't believe in this new thing where marriage should be splitting families and
you're not for it at all. Yeah.
No. I'm a family man.
So your son cannot come to you and say, well, I want to have this white wedding. I believe that it's just the neutral family, my wife, myself, and you are out. You will not tolerate or accept that.
If you tell me that you and your wife are going to have you and yourself, then do it, because I cannot come to your wedding without telling my brother.
But maybe cost, maybe they want their privacy.
You see. I always tell people that. I don't like the way we have destroyed our traditional marriage, because one thing I cannot see is this Nigerianizing thing that we do. Why should 20 people follow women, throwing all these things that we do, dressed one way?
You think it's needless?
For me, I think so. I think that the whole essence of the union is taken away from too much drama. Because there is a lavish ceremony has no bearing on how well a marriage is. I think you even attract too many demons on the thing. So for me, if you ask me, and I also don't understand why parents would demand so much from their It's
become the norm now. They feel that they're placing some value on you. The ceremony has to be now. Photography, the music.
Bola.
I just saw somebody's wedding list and it's running in excess of about 500,000 Ghana cedis.
For me, I always say that.
Drinks.
If somebody marries your daughter, at least the obligation of paying for your daughter has been taken away from. Can the person recompense you for all the... Yes. So why should you ask a young man to spend 300,000 cedis a day for your daughter? For me, it doesn't sit well with me. I always tell people that none of my daughters is married, but I always tell people that, look, if you come to marry my daughter, because if you mess about her, you and I have a big issue. The money that you're going to give it to her. So for me, I don't like, but it's me, it's personal. Some people do it, but I don't like this. How we've destroyed how we've destroyed our traditional marriages, and because at times you see some traditional marriage and it's too expensive. All those black labels and the champagnes that we put on the head of. Yeah. What are we doing with it? What are we going to do with it? So for me, and two, the church is always railing against funerals. But when funerals come, there's contributions. Siblings will come together. But if you tell me that my father dies and I bury him and it's waste of money, can you explain to me why a 28 and a 27-year-old appear before you in church, and then they have a long wedding train? And in this country, nobody invites you to anything, because if somebody is married in EIB, automatically everybody in EIB has to show up. The whole church, if the boy comes for a different church. No, you see, so what is the problem? So for me, I personally believe strongly that if we really sat down to really think about our traditions, there are so many things that we suffer for nothing. But in this country, it's becoming emblematic that if you're educated, you must jettison your traditional values. So for me, I have a problem.
Interesting thoughts there, and as we are on this, also yes, tell us how you relax. But you engage in some sports. You told us you play, some squash. You go out there, and then now you're playing golf. Do you listen to music as well? Oh, so you don't have a favorite musician?
Atogozim by heaven, there's no beer.
Oh,
and it's actually because I find the lyrics funny.
The lyrics.
Atogozim
in heaven, there's no beer.
Yeah.
What does he say in that?
The reason why I like it is simply this. Okay. Before they play it, you see, he says that some are really going to love you, some are really going to hate you. And Lumba has pim time, and then Amrado also said that is for me. It's the reason why is about life. That in life, 1,000 will love you, 1,000. So those 3 songs, I like them for the simple reason. Okay. But Zimba, Zimba adds a thing, and then Lumba's one. Pim.
We'll play all of that for you.
So for me, it's a message of 1,000 will love you, 1,000 will hate you. So when you want everybody to love you, or you think everybody hates you, it's wrong.
All right. Still you rise. So we'll play Atongo's Simba's one for you, and then we'll come to Pim from Lumba. So here we go. After this, we'll be back. I was drinking all the beer here. I love this tune. Okay, so welcome back, and that's one of your favorite musicians, and you love Lumbas and Pim as well. We'll play that for you later on. But tell us about your time and your role at Asante Kotoko. You love that team.
Oh, I mean, Kotoko, who doesn't? The thing about Kotoko is that I don't think that I've ever been cut out. You see, one thing that I've noticed about football management is that people have kept in their primordial existence, and there's always a resistance for it to sort of develop. In all the 3 times that I've been in Kotoko, I've had funny experiences, and you want to do things this way, and there's a particular way of doing things. It's not really been it's a learning curve for me, that how to deal with people who think differently and trying to get them. But the greatest football team ever assembled is fabulous. Everybody has to be a fabulous.
Really?
Oh,
it's the greatest football team
ever. Yeah, absolutely.
Ever.
You see,
Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
No, it's not Kumasi. It's Asante Kotoko.
Asante Kotoko.
It's House of That's a crowd. Kumasi is Asante, because Asante. When we were kids, you just realize at times politics was when we were kids. If you wanted to commit suicide in Kumasi, you go and stand in Zongo and shout phobia, because Kotoko essentially is Zongo the fabulous. You see. There was that thing about when we were kids, Kotoko was a Zongo team, and it was funny. But now, politics has crept into everything. So
even to football,
absolutely.
administration.
I remember when that very painful day when House of Folk beat us at the Confederations Cup, and I was sitting down with a colleague, and I saw Zongo people singing Taylor, also be phobia. Because
Never.
if you lived in Kumasi, it was those cornerstone boys in Ashanti New Town, those disappointed Ashanti heroes people in there, they supported Hearts. But Kotoko was essentially a Zungu team,
Wow.
And now I think that politics has crept into our football.
Right.
So
we have a couple of messages coming in, and people can also join us. You can send us a message 053-518-3317, and also go to Facebook and send your messages. But yes, StarrChat, you can send in the messages. But we have this one from Kwame Boafo Esq, Acheampong Boafo. And he says, great interview, Bola Ray, as always. I want to find out from the bar president, the law complex sits across from the sea. The facilities in the law court complex are ill-suited for the ravages of the sea. The complex is in admirable decline. What are the plans by leadership of the bar to stem this painful tide?
Bola, these are some of the things that we complain about. The property is part of the estate of the judicial service. And the only thing that we can do on these matters is just maybe to advocacy. I remember some time ago, the law court complex, I think there was a problem with water. And it turned out that the pump was having the Greater Accra Bar offered to pay. I think it was just about 5,000 cedis, but you have to go through procurement and everything.
Bureaucracy.
So maintenance of infrastructure is nested with Department of the Judicial Service. And we have
so there's little you can do
maybe
as an association,
drawing attention to the Chief Justice and the Chief Justice making sure that it is done.
Right. All right. So Kwame Boafo Esq of Acheampong Boafo. There you go. And I have a message as well coming in, and you can join us with your messages as well. But this is from Mutala. Mutala wants to know from you. He says the abolishment of death penalty for people found guilty for murder. Do you support it?
I don't have. One thing about being a bar president is that you don't express personal opinions. The bar council was supposed to. It divided us so much that I wanted to take it to the conference. Then Parliament passed the law. It's something that is very, very divisive within legal circles as to whether we should be retained or not. So if I state my personal opinion now, it will be seen that that's what the GB supports.
Okay.
So, even discussion at the council were sharply divided. There were people who wanted it retained, others wanted it abolished.
Wow.
Parliament has, I think just to be signed, if I'm not mistaken, but I think a private member bill. By Francis Xavier Susu has gone at them.
And Nana AC says, great interview, Bola. What advice will he give to young lawyers like us just starting out their careers, especially Gen Z lawyers?
Bola, one thing that I have realized about law is that you have to manage your expectations and sacrifice your junior days. I always tell people that I've never seen a good lawyer starve. You may not necessarily become rich, but a good lawyer will not starve. So you should make sure that you spend time in your young days under the tutelage of experienced seniors. Sacrifice that. Eventually, you're going to benefit out of it. But one thing that I always tell people is that don't say that I'm a corporate lawyer because lawyer X a corporate lawyer. Try your hands at everything. I see so many lawyers give up like, I'm not a courtroom person, I'm a corporate person, I'm this thing. Try your hands at everything. Then you find your niche and thing. But go beyond borders. I remember when I was campaigning to become president, a lot of junior lawyers were complaining about their conditions, which is true. Most of them suffer, I must admit. But I was telling them that when the time comes for them to set up their law firms, why is it that all of us want to set up our law firms from Spintex to that small enclave? Because if you look at those new areas, how many law firms there? Until recently, I was on the Security and Exchange Commission board, and we had a retreat at Pediase. And when you pass Pediase Law, there's some shell there.
That's right.
Law. And I saw a law firm there.
Yes.
Absolutely,
nice.
yes. So people are moving. I think that at times...
I love the setup. The whole
setup,
yes.
It was beautiful. So I think that now, some young lawyers, when there's time for them to set up their chambers, should go out of the central business district.
That's some good advice.
To those areas. Because if you look at how big is it? For example, if you're coming from Ayimensa all that way to Medina, how many law firms are there?
Okay.
Even Pokwase, and there are so many people. Today Accra, I think Accra and Dodua are basically central Accra. So I think that people should also find new opportunities.
That's some good advice there.
Absolutely.
And also mentorship. You meet a lot of the younger ones and they want to know. I believe that it helps in shaping the future of the legal profession. What role does it play?
Absolutely. You know, one thing about law is that where you do your pupillage is as important as anything. Because, even if you get the best grades in law school, the practice of the law and the study of law are diametrically opposite.
Okay.
You need to, law for me at times is just like learning a trade. That apprenticeship. You need to learn, so many things. How to even engage clients, body language in court, reading the judge's mood. All these things are things that you need to do. When to speak, when to negotiate, when to go to court, when to settle a matter, because there are some matters when it comes, you help your client by settling.
Right.
So these are all things you can only learn on the job.
Right. And Emmanuel sending in the message, Emmanuel from Hacho says that, will Mr. President consider joining the clergy after his tenure as GBA president? Well, that's coming from Frederick, rather. Yes.
Bola, one thing that I believe strongly is that you cannot learn to be a clergy, but you have to be called.
Okay.
So I can decide to be but as for that, please.
But you think you don't have a thing for it? Your dad is on the side.
My father is a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep. I have siblings who are pastors.
Who are pastors.
But until the day that the Holy Spirit tells me, I'll keep it where I am.
Where you are now. All right. So this one is also coming in. It says, please ask him about the president's reluctance to sign the witchcraft bill.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are some bills, private member bills, that there's an attorney general opinion that because it affects public finances, it cannot be introduced as a private member. I think that's still being discussed. So
all right.
We have to have maybe the Supreme Court have to definitely pronounce on that before.
Okay. Wow. So as we get, to draw down the curtains, lots of messages here for you as well. Some talking about the reforms, whether you think is necessary and all of that. I think that you've talked about it, and also Ghana's justice system. But again, access to justice system remains a major, concern for many Ghanaians, Mr. President, especially those in marginalized communities. Are new lawyers, from where you sit, excited about offering pro bono services to the vulnerable?
You see, when I say this thing, I get myself in trouble. I said, look, if you look at the Bible, the profession that will be most represented in heaven is lawyers. Every lawyer helps the poor. Because, you see, in our practice, it may not be formalized, but most lawyers come to the vulnerable. One of the things that we really have to get out of terms, now that we are producing more lawyers, a lot of lawyers should also start moving out of Accra. I think that is 87.5% of lawyers in Ghana work in the Greater Accra region. So that creates that saturation. So we don't have lawyers across the country. But now, let us give credit where credit is due. The current government has built, with the District Assembly Common Fund, built courts, I think 100 and something courthouses across the country. So now there are more courts there. And now, because we're also producing enough lawyers, a lot of people are going to the lower benches. So that is
we're getting there.
But you see, because our profession is primarily private sector, it's not like public that you can say that. But one thing that the government must do, and for me it's very important, and that may even lead to exodus of lawyers to that area. Up to this day, we don't have a Greater Accra Regional Office of the Attorney General. I believe that we've reached a stage now where the Office of the Attorney General, the Legal Aid Commission, must have district offices and regional offices.
So decentralized.
So that prosecutions across the country are handled by them. Wow. Then you have legal aid, now that they are from the Public Defenders Division, also helping poor people. So if you have legal aid spread across the country, it's going to start creating traffic in criminal matters, because then what you're guaranteed is that every indigent person in Ghana is entitled to legal representation. But unless we spend money, but you see, those things are not things politicians think they can get vote. But we don't even have a Greater Accra Regional Office of the Attorney General, and there are so many lawyers wanting to be employed there. So I believe that the government should find money. Let us have district regional offices of the Legal Aid Commission and the Office of the Attorney General, so that you have prosecutions being done by the Office of the Attorney General. Right. And then the Legal Aid Commission, the Public Defenders Unit, defending, it would really take away a lot of injustices that people, you hear stories of policemen telling people, you want to go to court, just say you are guilty so that you are given lenient sentence. When people are not guilty, people have been arrested and they have no legal representation. So let us employ more lawyers in the Legal Aid Commission. Let's have district officers. Let us have regional officers of Attorney General across the country, and we'll solve that problem.
We'll get to solve that. As we get ready to touch down the tarmac, I just want to find out from you, how do you feel about passing the baton to Ifua Gatti? I mean, you're doing that on the 4th of November.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about Ifua, Mrs. Ifua Gatti?
You know, there's one thing about the bar. Immediately your colleagues vote for you, then it means it's an honor that they believe that.
Did you vote for her? Mr. President,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say. I would. No, it would take away. But the thing is that whether I voted for her or not is not really important.
She's
but
the president.
The most important thing is that lawyers have emphatically voted.
Were you supporting somebody else?
Mr.
President.
The thing is that the most important thing is that. But one thing that I've also noticed about the bar is that when you become president, you assume everybody voted for you, because you see, there is some fluidity that is amazing. In 2018, I know people who supported Mrs. Gatti over Mr. Forsen, who were part of my campaign team. And I know people who in 2021 were supporting Mrs. Gatti, who were supporting Mr. Jakpasu. And people who were supporting me, who were supporting her. So you see, lawyers...
The dynamics
change all the time.
Wow.
But the thing about you as president is that you just assume that everybody voted for you. But immediately, you see, this is the Ghana Bar Association. Every lawyer at least has a certain level of intelligence.
She's the first female president.
That's it. And
that alone.
You see, and the historic thing is that not just the first female president, we also have the first female vice president. So we have two now. The bar is firmly in the hands of two distinguished female lawyers.
Any advice as the outgoing president that you want to give her briefly as she embarks on her presidency?
Nobody gives advice in public. Nobody gives advice in public.
I mean, considering just one thing, considering your experience during your tenure.
I am bar president, and I have to give respect to the office. When people wanted to, I past president, they called me privately.
Right.
So I will not sit in public.
Or maybe one thing that just to ensure continuity. I know there was that collaboration between past and current leaders.
No, I would not say anything about Mrs. Gatti. About Mrs. Gatti in public, please.
No problem. We'll just leave it at that. But as we wrap it all up, I know we're getting to our mystery question and all of that. I have some questions for you. Some quick fire questions. 5 of them. Reset or upgrade with regards to our national politics. What do we need? Mr. President, I got you to laugh.
My office has not required me to make a comment about this thing.
Mr. President, I don't want office. No, you are exiting.
No, I don't want to. I have 6 weeks left. I don't want to impeach. Please. It's absolutely.
Oh, but from where you sit,
no,
humbly, reset or upgrade.
My mouth is sealed. My mouth is
Your
sealed.
mouth is sealed.
Absolutely.
Sarkodie or manifest? Sarkodie for you. Amachidede or Lumba?
No, deal. I think it's deal.
Really?
I think Amachidede is a better stage performer.
Okay.
But if you look at longevity, I think it's deal.
Deal. Kojenchi or DL, Daddy Lumba?
Oh, it's Daddy Lumba. That one is like comparing Kojenchi and, I think, with Kojenchi, we have to create something that is competition. But I think between Daddy Lumba and Kojenchi, it's like Real Madrid and Accra Folk. I mean, there's a gap.
Hey, you get issues.
No, DL. No, you see,
DL, Daddy Lumba.
I think him and A.B. Crenson, late A.B. Crenson, were those who had how they could, if you look at A.B. Crenson, the days of High Life, he was there. Yeah, and then when the Agege thing came,
High Life, and he gets into
then he came, Boga Life, he came, then he collaborated with
Obo. Yes.
So, I mean, and that Lumba has been there since the 80s, from Teresa.
So, Lumba is a legend.
Daddy Lumba, I don't think is...
President Nkrumah or President Akufo-Addo?
Actually, I think if James Bonfair is watching now...
Kwabena Bonfair.
They know my position. Unfortunately... Kwame Nkrumah is a great president, but I'm not an Nkrumah fan as most people think. But I think that
Nkrumah or Akufo-Addo?
I think that Kwame Nkrumah may have a bit more international appeal, and I think that the different eras would Nkrumah have survived in this very democratic era? That is one question I would have. So, and because I was not also living under Nkrumah. I would pass on that question. But I think that if you have pedigree, Nkrumah clearly has pedigree more than all our presidents at the international level.
Time for our mystery question, Mr. President, and here you go. What's the question, sir? This is StarrChat. What's the question, sir?
If you had the power to change one law in Ghana overnight, what would it be and what impact do you think it would have? If I know that constitutional provision that says that parliamentarians should also be ministers of state, if I had it, I would just take it out straight up. I think that it has incapacitated Parliament and it's really affected our politics. I would want a situation where parliamentarians concentrate on parliamentary duties and the executive say, so that, this lobbying, intense lobbying, how people are really wanting to get here. It affects the work of Parliament, which is so important.
All right. So the next mystery question will be,
if you good one piece of advice to young lawyers just starting their careers, I think
I've said that. Okay, so we can take the other one right there.
If you went a lawyer, what other profession would you think?
Yes, a historian. Okay. So the last one will be,
what is your biggest fear in life?
Right.
Failure.
Failure.
The fear of failure. It scares me.
When all is said and done, one day you would want to be written right there on a tombstone as the man who did what?
Who came to serve.
Who came to serve. Yes. Yaw Acheampong Boafo, thank you very much. And we're leaving you with your favorite tune, in Pim Pim by Lumba. And we'd like to say a very big thank you for honoring our invitation. You hardly do interviews. I'm honored and humbled for coming, Mr. President. And you want to say thank you. I mean, you've been in office, you've done great stuff. Which people would you like to say a big thank you to as we wrap it all up? Yeah.
Bola, I'd like to say a big thank you to members of the Ghana Bar Association, as I said, for giving the opportunity for a young boy from the village of Acheampong that is not listed on the Ghana map to become president of the republic. But I mean, if I want to mention people, I'm going to get myself in trouble. So for those who love me, for those who hate me, everybody who knows me.
And Pim Pim Dog, Pim Pim Town. Yaw Acheampong Boafo. Anytime I'm in Kumasi, we'll go out there and we'll play some golf. We have to do that.
By the time you get there, I think my handicap will be
Very big thank you to my whole team, to the production crew, led by Santok Singh. Thank you very much. Producer of the show, Jojo Kobina. Thank you very much to Erica Dami, Samuel Mante, Daniel Banks, Francis Amuzu, Francis Toto. Thank you very much to Della Avoga, Emmanuel Donko, Joey, Sly, Della, and also to my DJ Mono. My name is Kwabena Anochie DC. God bless all of us. Thank you for joining us right here on the show. We're out.
Bola Ray. Bola Ray.